coronation footage as the king and queen leave the thrones and head for the exit. No one moves a limb, a muscle, when Camilla passes. And that was because they were angry with Camilla.
Welcome back to UK Unfiltered. If you have ever walked into a room, confidently grabbed the hand of someone you thought was a famous author, and tried to introduce them to their own mother, who also happens to be the Queen of the United Kingdom, then you might just have something in common with BBC Radio 2 legend Sarah Cox. As we approach World Book Day on March 5th, 2024, the literary world is buzzing, but the real page-turner is not sitting on a shelf in the Royal Library at Windsor. It is the behind-the-scenes reality of Queen Camilla's true colors. While some might expect the consort to be a stiff porcelain figure of the establishment, Sarah Cox has recently exposed the truth about what it is actually like to spend time with the woman at the heart of the monarchy. From awkward mix-ups at Clarence House to being called a kindred spirit of the raunchy novelist Jilly Cooper, the disgusting amount of fun happening behind palace walls is enough to make a courtier drop their silver spoon. We are diving into the hilarious high-energy world of royal book clubs and the celebrities who claim the queen might actually be faking it to be nice. Quick favor, if you're loving this, hit that subscribe button. Over 92% of viewers haven't yet. It's free, takes a second, and means the world to us. Thanks if you did. Now back to the show. Let us set the stage for a moment of pure, unadulterated social carnage. Sarah Cox, the voice of your afternoon drive time, was invited to a celebration for authors at Clarence House. Now, when you are surrounded by the literary elite and members of the royal family, the pressure to be sharp is immense. But Sarah managed to create a scenario that sounds like a deleted scene from a British sitcom. She spotted a woman she half knew and, assuming she was just another struggling novelist, grabbed her by the arm and said, "Come over, I will introduce you to the Duchess. Let us go over and say hello." The analogy here is like trying to introduce Camilla's own daughter. Instead of correcting Sarah and ending the embarrassment, Laura played along, leading to a truly surreal moment where they approached the queen. Sarah recounts that it only slowly dawned on her who Laura was when Camilla greeted her with a very motherly and enthusiastic "Hi." It turns out the queen is a laugh, a woman who can handle a massive social blunder with the grace of someone who has seen it all. According to Sarah, Camilla and the legendary bunkbuster author Jilly Cooper are kindred spirits. If you know anything about Jilly Cooper's novels, that tells you everything you need to know about the queen's sense of humor. It is bold, it is witty, and it is definitely not stuffy. While the social gaffes are happening at Clarence House, the serious business of World Book Day is taking Sarah Cox to the Royal Library at Windsor Castle. This is not your local lending library where you get fined 50 pence for a late return. This is a site that houses more than 45,000 rare books and manuscripts, including Shakespeare folios that have been personally annotated by kings and queens of the past. Imagine walking through a room where the very pages were touched by monarchs who changed the course of history. Queen Camilla, a devoted reader who launched the Queen's Reading Room initiative in 2021, is the driving force behind this literary revival. Sarah is set to host a special for BBC Sounds and helm the BBC 500 Words project, which means she is getting a first-class tour of these national treasures. The suspense of being in a room with that much history is palpable, but as Sarah has revealed, the woman leading the charge is far more relatable than the rare vellum she protects. Camilla is using her platform to prove that literature is not just for the elite, even if she has to deal with the occasional BBC DJ trying to introduce her to her own offspring. But not everyone is convinced that the warm welcome at the palace is entirely genuine. Enter Prue Leith, the 86-year-old culinary icon and former Great British Bake Off judge. In her latest book, Being Old and Learning to Love It, Prue makes a surprising admission about her encounters with the royal family. Prue is stepping down from the beloved Channel 4 show, soon to be replaced by Nigella Lawson, and she is using her retirement to be brutally honest about fame. Prue confesses to really liking the attention that comes with being a celebrity, but she drops a playful bombshell regarding her friendship with the queen. She writes that while it is lovely being warmly welcomed as an old friend by the likes of Jonathan Ross or Queen Camilla, she knows they are probably faking it. It is a sharp, witty observation on the nature of high society politeness. Is Camilla actually laughing because she is a kindred spirit, or is she just the world's most practiced hostess? Proof suggests that the disgusting level of charm might just be a very well executed performance. It adds a layer of suspense to every royal interaction. Is it a real connection or just the limelight playing tricks on everyone's eyes? The idea of Queen Camilla being kindred spirits with Jilly Cooper is perhaps the most revealing insight of all. Jilly Cooper is the queen of the Rothschild Chronicles, books famous for their scandalous romps through the British countryside. If Sarah Cox is right, and the queen truly aligns with that world, it suggests a woman who is far more earthy and humorous than the public persona suggests. This high-energy personality is what makes Camilla such a fascinating figure in 2024. She's balancing the weight of the Shakespeare folios at Windsor with the laugh of a social blunder at Clarence House. She's navigating a world where people like Prue Leith suspect she might be faking it, while people like Sarah Cox find her genuinely hilarious. The true colors being exposed here are not those of a disgusting royal elitist, but of a woman who has learned to find the comedy in the chaos of the monarchy. As Sarah prepares for her World Book Day special, she's going in with eyes wide open. The queen might be the guardian of 45,000 rare books, but she's also the woman who would say hi to her daughter while a confused radio host looks on in horror. It is a masterclass in royal relatability, proving that even at the highest levels of society, there is always room for a bit of a laugh. Thank you for watching.